Hola, ¿cómo está? Dzień dobry, shalom, hello, etc. Good day, kia ora. So I was just sitting here, finishing my coffee, which is nearly ran out, sunbathing, and looking at the Himalayan, and trying to kind of think, why do I like it? You know? But anyway, that's a story for another day. I thought, how did I get into bikes at all? I've ridden bikes since I got into them, not pretty much non-stop. Look at where I am. Awesome, innit? Midges there. So anyway, I was thinking back and I thought, I've always ridden bicycles. I've got photographs, or my mum's got photographs of me on my three-wheeler, like aged about 7 or 8. I had a three-wheeler with like full-size wheels and a bread bin on the back, you know, like a trunk thing. It was an awesome machine, because I had terrible asthma, so I didn't have the energy for much, and the three-wheeler was easy. I think that's probably why I had it. And then I had a bike that I got for my Christmas, an old second-hand one, because we had nothing at that time. And it had like square wheels, it was all rusty, a blue thing. Thinking back on it, it should have been on a bonfire. But I woke up on Christmas Day and Santa had left me a two-wheeler. I was blown away. I didn't believe Santa could be so generous. Man, that bike got some abuse, but I learnt to ride a two-wheeler on that. And then I had a BSA, so I've actually owned a BSA. It had V tripod metal badge on the front frame on the yoke, and it was like 3 rifles and a tripod, you know, stacked up. And that was a good bike. And then, and this is where motorbikes I think come into it, I got a Rally Rebel, and it had 3 gears. Unheard of. And you just, Sturmey Archer, it's just come to me, that's what they were called, Sturmey Archer. And you just twisted the hand grip to change gear. I went everywhere on that bike. You'd go out in the morning and come back when you were starving. And then I discovered hitchhiking. And you didn't need to cycle anymore. So for years I just went camping and youth hosteling and hill walking all over Scotland at other people's expense every weekend. I'd just, you know, stick my thumb out and see where I ended up. If somebody said we're going to Inverary, I was like, oh, coincidence, so am I, and that's where I'd go. So anyway, I had zero interest in cars. We never had a car. Nobody in my street had a, well, maybe half a dozen people in my whole street had a car, right? Never was interested in driving. For my 17th birthday I got driving lessons, and I took one, and I just thought, what am I doing here? What, I'm not interested, you know. So I went for the second one, told the guy I'd forgot my specs, so I couldn't do it, and never went back. That's just how I am. If I'm not interested in something, you get to me for free, I'm not interested, sorry. And I never had an interest in motorbikes at all. But my pals all ended up with them. I never even noticed, because I was away all the time, you know. My pal had a 185 Suzuki, like a trail bike style one. Oh no, it might have been the road bike style one. Can't remember, because I had zero interest. And then he had a, was it a 185 200, a Bentley Honda, no it wasn't a Bentley, Honda CB200 with a red tank with black like pads on it. Lovely wee bike. Till I got my hands on it. But it never registered with me. Wally's older brother Tommy, he always had motorbikes, Triumphs. He was always out like welding tin cans onto the exhaust to try and get it through MOTs and stuff. It just was a different world. didn't even register with me that they had motorbikes. And then one day, and I don't remember how it happened, Wally said to me, "Do you want to learn how to go the bike?" And I says, aye, why no? We must have been really bored that day. Or I said, "Hey, can I have a wee shot learn how to go the bike?" It doesn't matter. But just happened out the blue. So there was a big supermarket, a cooperative supermarket near us at the end of our street basically. And it was closed at weekends, and you could loop right round the whole block, you know. It was all, no gravel, but all dirty and dusty concrete, you know. And zero traffic, absolutely zero, no chance of anything happening. So we went there and I sat on the bike, and Wally said to me, "Right, start it up." So I started it, and then he said, "You pull this lever in and press down." So I did all that, and then he must have explained to me about balancing the throttle and the clutch to pull away, because I managed to pull away first time, if I remember correctly. I might be making it up, you know, I might be glorifying it in hindsight, but I moved off and I rode around the co-op car park twice in first gear, and then I thought, now I want to stop, and something in the back of my mind knew to stop you had to do more than just pull the brakes. You know, I just knew you had, I don't know how I knew. So I was riding past Wally going, "How do you stop? How do you stop?" And eventually he told me, pull the clutch in and just, you know, kind of coast to a stop and touch the brakes. So I pulled it in, and he went right, and he rode the bike down the road. I probably jumped on the back of it, whatever. We rode back down the road, like about 200 yards back to his house. And he took it in, bumped it up the pavement and onto his driveway. And he was just doing wee bits on it, oiling the chain and the throttle cable and one thing and another. And I just thought, I want another shot on that. So I says, "Wally, can I have another wee go?" And he went, "Aye, alright, Hutchie, but let me bump it down the curb for you." And I was like, "No, it'll be alright." And hey, well done, Wally, for letting me. I jumped on the bike, started it, put it into first gear, let the clutch out, moved off, bounced down the curb, no realising what it would do, whiskey throttled it in first gear. And that bike shot off down the street like a banshee, with me literally hanging onto the handlebars with the throttle wide open, my legs flailing behind me like a washing on a washing line in a gale. And Wally shouting, "Let go, let go," try to catch up with me. And I was approaching a parked car. There was a parked car in the street, believe it or not. And I thought, I can't hit that car, that'll get the federales involved. I knew that much. So somehow or other I put the bike down. I don't know what damage I did to me, probably cuts and bruises and things. I don't remember road rash, but that wasn't the point. I just smashed my pal's motorbike. It just cleaned and done all the service and on. And but it was just the headlight and a mirror and a couple of other bits. And Wally came along just panic stricken that I was alright, you know, because it really must have looked amazing. I wish there was GoPros back then. So picked the bike up, got it back to his house like 150 yards away by this time, and looked at our, and he went, "There's no harm done, it's just the headlight and the mirror and a couple of scratches." And I went, "That's alright, I'll pay for it, Wally, I'll pay for it." And he went, "No you won't." He says, "It's my stupid fault for letting you ride it." It never cost me anything. How good was that? And from that point on I was hooked. And then I don't know what day of the week that was, but then on the Sunday, and I can remember clear as day, we were sitting in Wally's living room playing cards, me, Wally, Davy Brown, and maybe Tommy was there, and the snooker was on the TV, and we were playing cards for like a penny a hand or whatever. And they interrupted the snooker for the, you know, the Iranian embassy siege in London. The SAS stormed it live, and just at that moment I thought, I need to get a motorbike. I've got to have one of these things. My life will never be the same if I don't get a motorbike. And That was the Sunday. On the Monday, it was a bank holiday Monday if I remember right, but the bike shop was open, and I phoned up, no idea about anything, but Wally and his brother Tommy said get a Honda, they're reliable, and I phoned up, bought over the phone I think a 250 Super Dream brand new V-Reg, a Belstaff crash helmet, and a Belstaff jacket and a crash helmet. One of the old-fashioned ones where you studied the visor down. And they told me don't ride it home because it was the centre of Glasgow, the dealer. So they did a bronze insurance thing that gave you 5% discount of your insurance. Star Rider it was called, the bike shop. So on the Saturday I went, picked the bike up, and remember I've only been on a bike twice before. In the Star Rider bronze course I thought they were going to train me how to ride a bike. No, you jumped on your bike, drove to the end of this road on the industrial estate where the bike shop was, turned around and rode back, and they went, there you go, and gave you a wee certificate. And I sat on the bike for 2 hours. Well, there's another wee detail I'll not go into, but I sat on the bike for 2 hours waiting on Wally and Tommy coming to get the bike for me to get it home, because they said they'd come and get it either in the van or Tommy would ride it home, whatever. And because I didn't know how to put the stand down. And I didn't even want to ask MD at a bike shop and your brand new bike with your brand new jacket and your brand new crash helmet. You don't want to say to somebody, going to help me to get off this, I don't know how to get off it. I thought, come and take the keys back. So anyway, I'll finish the story off. They got it home, and I lived in a wee cul-de-sac, a wee downhill, short, stubby cul-de-sac. And they parked the bike outside the house. We lived at the very top, outside the house, facing down. And my mum and that's looking out the window, and they're going, oh, it's amazing, that's beautiful. Go and have a wee shot on it, we want to see you riding off on it. I was scared stiff, I didn't want to go back on it. I was terrified of the thing, and I got back on it, figured out how to get it going, figured out how to do up my crash helmet, and off I went. And I rode about 15 mile because I couldn't figure out how to do a U-turn and get back again. I just had no idea, I had no road sense, no nothing. I mean, I'd done a lot of cycling on the roads, but I'd no, proper road sense. So I got to a town called Johnston, and I got to a dead end road where I had to turn around, and eventually I got the bike turned around. I probably got off it in like 15 million bit, turned it around, rode the bike home, and a week later I put a rucksack on my back, a proper old fashioned frame rucksack that had me bent over like that when I was sitting on the bike, so I had to lean right over and then lift my neck. And I jumped on that wee Super Dream, and I did 500 miles. No, 1,000 miles in a week. Because the bike had to be serviced at 500 miles, and I had to phone the dealer up 3 days into my journey and say, can I go over the 500 miles please? And they said, I just don't go daft. And I ran it in, it was just over 30 mile an hour, and I went all over Scotland on it. Did 1,000 mile, and that's how I learned how to ride a bike. And I'm still learning. So there you go, happy days. All the best everybody, and the Lord bless you and keep you. Shalom.